But when you buy a new TV for $1,000 or $2,000, a lot of people ask what you're gonna do about audio. And really, if you're paying $2,000 for a TV, you don't want to have to worry about that. The issue is, as TVs get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, you kind of start hitting a border of how much speaker can you fit in a TV. My TV's a pretty thick boy, but it's definitely having some trouble keeping up with the standards of today. Especially because I have random bookshelf speakers from like Logitech that are literally falling off the wall, and I just have propped up on my computer, and really, that really can't do. I have to have audio that I can discern and hear without it being in the way. So, one of the main things that people have done to add audio clarity and also audio quality is a soundbar. Now, soundbars are really interesting because they're trying to give you a home theater experience, which in the past could cost just as much as a $1,000 TV. And we're gonna try validating their claims with this. Now this, my friends, is the Vizio V51-H6 soundbar 5.1 setup. I don't know why I did air quotes, because this is 5.1. This consists of 2 rear speakers, a wireless subwoofer, and 3 front speakers. So let's see what we got today, and I'll show you why this is not only a budget soundbar, but one of the best for the money. So what do we have in the box? Well, let's start taking out some foam and see what we got. First, we have this box that says LR. These are going to be your rear left and right speakers. So if I open up the box, you can see these pretty tiny speakers, about the size of my hand, that can sit on the rear wall. So that would be back there. That's the opposite wall of my TV. These rear speakers are awesome because they allow you to not hear virtualized audio behind you. You can actually hear audio behind you. So we have 2 of those, 1 and 2. And as you can see, these for the most part are the same, except for some color coding differences. So this is going to be the other one, and it has a white plug. Now, we also have this. Now what is this, you might ask? This is called a subwoofer. And this subwoofer can really deliver that deep bass. You can see that because if I pick this up here, you can see that giant speaker. So I think the next thing to look at is the soundbar itself. Now this looks like a pretty nice soundbar, and I'm sure it sounds like one too. On the back, it looks like we have 2 aux ports. Each of those can do a different purpose. One can be from audio from a separate device, and the other is meant for audio from a smart speaker like Alexa and Google Assistant. Sometimes Siri, but Siri can be difficult. We also have optical, which allows for 5.1 surround to be passed using light. We also have HDMI ARC, or ARC. But you might be saying, well, these speakers, they get plugged in too. Where's the plug? The plug is actually on the back of the subwoofer. And the subwoofer is also wireless. If you turn around the subwoofer here, you can see that it has plugs for the rear left and rear right speakers. Now I'll show you the included cables. I've actually been in this box a couple times to see what I need to buy, and turns out it's been nothing. Everything you would ever need is included in this box. This is a long power cable to reach the soundbar. This is a shorter power cable for the sub. We also have a 3.5mm jack for the aux VA or voice assistant port. But these are mounting brackets for the soundbar. And while it doesn't look like it, these actually allow for cables to pass behind the soundbar. We also have these 2 cables that look like amazingly long for use with the rear speakers. We also have some flush mounts for the speakers. We have RCA audio. We also have a remote with a built-in screen, which is just awesome. Some cable ties, an optical digital audio cable, an HDMI cable, color-coded for the soundbar, so you know that yellow is your soundbar. So yeah, let's get into the setup. The installation is finally finished, and I'm not gonna show you exactly how I did it, but I'll show you what I did so you can maybe replicate it. As someone who absolutely hates wires strung across the house, I went with the I already have a hole in the wall for this device tactic and kind of just piggybacked on that hole and brought the cable from the speaker down around and up the cable management hole on the symphonic speaker. And for the next speaker, I got pretty creative because I bet from this distance you can't tell exactly how it's mounted, but then as you move in, you start to lose the illusion. So there is actually a cable. It's not some wireless battery powered thing, and it uses some simple cable clips that I got online. They screw straight into the wall, and now I have a cable that's barely visible, and of course I have 5.1 surround, even better. So this is the soundbar, mounted directly under my TV, and it really allows for what is a surprisingly loud and surprisingly wide soundstage. And the subwoofer ended up down there. And I only put it here mainly for convenience. I originally had it over here, but decided to change the placement back to over here because it actually sounds a little better and it looks a little better. But before I tell you what I think about the sound, I'm going to see what you think about the sound. And I might describe a few characteristics as I go on. It's very difficult to try and get an accurate representation of how a speaker or a device sounds online. So for the best representation, at least to your ears, use headphones or loud bookshelf speakers. And this is just a Dolby demo from like 2017, so it's not going to be a perfect representation either. But at least for me, it's going to show me surround, and for you, it's going to show you sound characteristics. And I've turned this up pretty loud.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy. Whether the soundscape sets the mood of a scene, captures the full extent of nature's fury.
So what did I hear while watching this demo? Well, I heard distinct but not super clear bass, which I actually kind of prefer. I heard a little less highs than I would, but this is with default settings, and with some tuning, it could sound really good. I heard very distinct and actually clear mids. That would be dialogue. And that's around the board. So that would be in the rear speakers or in the front speakers. And overall, it's awesome. Now, for the most part, systems are gonna cost upwards of $500 or even $1,000. But Vizio seems to have pulled it off for just $150. And I know this sounds super sponsored, but it isn't. This is one of the best systems I've or anyone that I know has tried, especially for this price. It's not gonna beat out your 7.1 home theater setup with, high surrounds and everything, but it'll definitely beat out your TV speakers, and that's what's important. You want something that's not expensive, that's going to sound better than these terrible speakers, but is also maybe gonna have some extra features, like a subwoofer, like rear speakers, like everything. So yeah, everything is going to be linked in the video description, and I hope you enjoy this product just as much as I do. I'll see you later.